y'all, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be sharing with you one of my absolute favorite recipes. The day this is going up is actually my birthday and why I decided to post this recipe on this day. But I'm going to be making my mom's cheesecake, and she has been using this recipe for years. Now, it's not your traditional New York style cheesecake. It's a denser, chewier, more delicious version of a cheesecake, and I always, you can ask her, requested this for my birthday as my birthday cake because I'd rather have cheesecake instead of actual cake. And it is so good. My family we'd fight over it, and like we'd get mad at each other when someone had more than their share of the cheesecake, and so we'd have to sneak pieces here and there because it's that good. It's perfectly balanced. You get some lemon, you get some sweet, you get the cream cheese, and it's just amazing. So I've already made my crust and I have it cooling. All I did was I crushed 2 sleeves of graham crackers in my little food processor, or you can crush them by hand. And then I melted a stick of butter and mixed that together, and then I pressed it into my springform pan that I'm going to be using to bake this cheesecake in. And that's all I did for the crust. Very easy. It doesn't have to be perfect. Not all of my crumbs are the same size. I have some chunks, but I also have some really fine dust-like crumbs. And so it's so easy. It's foolproof. And then I let it bake for about 5 to 10 minutes to just set together before I added the cheesecake mixture to it. So I'm going to show you how to make the cheesecake batter. It is so easy. It is just a few ingredients, and you probably have a lot of these already in your cabinet. So the first thing you need is 2 blocks of cream cheese, and I've already softened and creamed them together until they're nice and smooth and there's no lumps in it. And to that I'm going to add 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. You can use any brand you like. Cans usually come in the same, I believe it's 14 ounces. I can look in just a second. Yeah, 14 ounces. So it makes it really easy. And this is the only sugar we are going to be adding to our cream cheese. So this takes the place of any milk, of any sugar. And it's one of the reasons I really like this recipe. It's just so simple. So I'm going to add this in, and I'm going to mostly mix it into my cheesecake. The key with cheesecake is So the key with cheesecake is to mix as little as possible, and that's what we're going for today. So I'm going to partially mix this in before I add the rest of my ingredients. Okay, so I've got the sweetened condensed milk mostly mixed in, and now I'm going to add 3 eggs. So I am terrified of getting a shell in anything I make, so I always crack my eggs into a separate bowl. But I am going to do 3. That's really loud. I did learn a trick that if you crack your eggs on a flat surface like a counter, you're less likely to get an eggshell in there, and that has been working for me really well. So I'm just going to crack 3 eggs into the bowl and then pour them into my batter. And there's 3 eggs in. So the next thing I am going to add is a 1/4 cup of lemon juice, and you can use pre-squeezed bottled lemon juice, or you can use fresh lemons. I have fresh lemons, so I'm going to add the juice of 1 lemon, that's about a 1/4 cup, straight into my batter, and I'm going to use my citrus squeezer to get as much juice as I possibly can out. And this lemon juice goes perfectly with the tang of the cream cheese. Sorry, I had to get up on my tiptoes to get some leverage there. And it just adds a brightness and acidity to it, and it balances out all that sweetness. Okay, so there is a 1/4 cup of lemon juice. And the last thing I'm going to add is about a teaspoon of vanilla. And I just eyeball this. No need to be precise with vanilla. The more you add, the better it is. So now I am going to combine all these ingredients and mix for as little as time as possible, because I don't want cracks in my cheesecake, and the mixing is what can cause cracks. So I'm going to combine everything really quick, and then we will move on to the next part. Okay, so I've got everything mostly combined, and I just quickly want to, that was southern. I just quickly want to scrape down the sides of my bowl to make sure that there are no lumps or there's no cream cheese sticking to my bowl, because I want to get everything in there that I can. Every part of it mixed together, and I just made a mess, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to give this one more quick mix until everything's combined. Okay, and I think we're good there. I'm just going to take my beaters out and put them in my sink so I don't make any more of a mess. And now all I'm going to do is simply pour my finished batter into my prepared pie crust. I'm telling you guys, this is this easy. I always feel like I'm missing something whenever I make this, but this is literally the only ingredients in here. You want to make sure you get as much of that good batter out as possible. This makes a decent sized cheesecake. It's not going to be as tall as a New York cheesecake, but it's definitely, oh, it's so good. And it's enough. This usually feeds 8 to 10 people depending on how big you cut your pieces. So now, let me wash my hand off. I'm going to kind of tap my cheesecake on the counter to make sure I get any air bubbles out. Okay. So I think I've got all the air bubbles out, and the great thing about this cheesecake is that you don't have to do a water bath with it. I know a lot of recipes require a water bath, and doing a water bath really stresses me out, and I've been cooking for a long time. I'm just always afraid I'm gonna get water into whatever I'm cooking. So I really love this recipe because we don't use a water bath, and you are supposed to, but we never have. So I'm going to pop this into the oven. It needs to cook for about 55 to 60 minutes until golden brown, but you're basically done with the cheesecake. You just got to cook it. So I'm going to stick it in the oven, and I will see you back in about an hour. It is an hour later, and my cheesecake is finally ready. I am so excited. So let me grab it and I'll show it to you. And there it is. It is just slightly golden brown around the edges, and that is exactly how I like it. That's actually my favorite part of a cheesecake. I'm gonna let this cool just out on the counter until it reaches room temperature, and then I'm gonna stick it in the fridge for 2 hours minimum to let it get nice and cool, because that's how cheesecake is best. And then it is ready to serve. Now you can serve this as it is, or you can add raspberry preserves to the top, Cool Whip, strawberry, just about anything. You can add some banana pudding on top, and that's delicious. I've done it mixing just Cool Whip with an instant banana flavored pudding, and it tastes just like banana pudding. It's amazing. But you can really add anything you want to it. Cheesecake is just can be just a base for pretty much anything. But if you're like me, I'm pretty plain Jane when it comes to my cheesecake, and I just want to eat it like this. So I'm gonna let this come to room temperature, stick it in the fridge before I cut it, and I will show you what it looks like then. Hey y'all, it's the next day, and my cheesecake has been in the refrigerator overnight, so it's nice and chilled. So now it is time to release the spring form, and I'm so excited. Okay, so all you gotta do is run a butter knife around the edges to make sure it's released, because we don't want any of the cheesecake sticking, because then it might fall apart. Oh my god, it smells so good. I want to eat it all right now. Okay, and there we are, all the way around. So all you got to do now is carefully and slowly release the spring to make sure that it doesn't rip apart. I think we're good. Yeah. Okay, and once the spring's released, just pull it straight up. And there's your cheesecake. So easy. I think my oven mitts must have gotten into it a little, but that is the cheesecake. So let's cut a slice. This is the only plate I can reach at the moment. It's a little overkill, but let's cut into it. Make sure you get through the crust and to the bottom. Okay. You can already feel it releasing from the pan. Ooh. One thing I do want to mention is you don't have to have a crust. If it were my personal preference, I wouldn't have a crust on there. I always eat the crust off first, and then I will go in and eat the cheesecake. But that's just me. Drew thinks I'm weird. That's how I like to do it. Okay, let's wiggle this up slowly. There is a beautiful piece of cheesecake. It is so good and so creamy. So that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, if you would like to see more recipes from me or some other crafting or cleaning ideas, be sure to subscribe to my channel and ring the bell so you get notified whenever I do post a video. I post on Mondays and Fridays. Comment below your favorite cheesecake topping, because I'm in the mood to try some new stuff, and I don't know, maybe I'll find one that I like better than just plain cheesecake. So comment below, and I hope y'all are having a great day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.